Hello and welcome back to my channel, the Atypical Workshop. Today is a quick video. It's a follow-up to my sliding bed videos. And today I'm going to show you how I modify the front third of the bed so that it can move backwards and forwards, so that when you're driving, you've got ample leg room, and when you're sleeping, you've got space to stretch out. The way I'm going to solve this problem is, you guessed it, more sliders. Before I install the sliders, I need to make sure that the front part of the bed is in line with the rear part of the bed. I've done that, and now I'll draw a line along here to mark that position. Now that that line's drawn, I can push this entire front unit towards the front of the van until it lines up with the end of the mattress, which also happens to be pretty much in line with the end of the floor. So I'm just going to butt this up against the end of the floor. Let's slide this back. So we keep it lined up along here and flush on the end. Perfect. So I'm just going to double check that by extending out here and extending out here, and checking that we're aligned. And I also want to check that we're parallel, because it's possible that the floor along here is not parallel with the bed. So it turns out that I can't quite have this unit all the way back. The drawer itself can't pull out beyond the length of the top piece, because if it does, then the top piece is no longer supported. So that informs me of the maximum extension of the drawer. And similarly, on the larger bed, I don't want to pull the sliding part out beyond here, because this here is a cutout that accommodates this strengthening piece of steel. So when that's fully closed, I've routed out a channel so that the piece of steel doesn't stop the bed from closing fully. I don't want my sliding portion of the larger bed to drop into the channel. And to sort that out, I've had to move the front part of the bed forward and I've gone with the width of the support piece that goes on here, and that seems good, because this can pull out to here and rest at its extents, like so, and this can pull out to here and rest just shy of falling into the trough. So as you can see here, I've already got the one half of the sliders attached square to the base of the front bed. So I've got this piece screwed down here, which is going to allow me to move the front unit towards the back of the van whilst keeping it square. And I've now tilted that unit onto its front so that I can reveal the sliders. I'm going to put the other half of the slider in, click it in place like so. Now I can put this back down with this fully extended and butt it up against here, and I'll know that it's square, and I can fix this piece down onto the floor square to everything else. Let's just pretend for a second that these sliders were actually mounted like this. If that were the case, then when I pull the part of the bed out, all I'd need to do would be make sure that this piece is butted up against here. Because these are set further forward, I just need to take into account this distance. 55 millimeters. So I need to measure 55 millimeters, translate it onto the floor down here, mark it, and when I pull the bed out, I need to keep pulling it until the ends of the drawer slides are in that position. My offset needs to be 55 millimeters plus the width of this, which is 50. So I need to offset the ends of the drawer runners by 105. So I know that my drawer slider wants to terminate on this line. Like that. I've got one screw in on each end, and The next thing I need to do is remove the unit from this half of the slider, but I don't want it moving. So I'm going to draw lines on each and also in here, so that if it moves I'll know, because that's not perfectly lined up. So now, get this out the way. So it's completely off now, as you can see. That looks pretty good. Mark the centres and then drive the screws in. Slide this along here so it lines up. There. Clicked in, both ends. Alright, success I think. This is sliding pretty freely. Happy with that. It never needs to go very far. Here's far enough. Well, I hope this bed update video was useful. Any further modifications to the bed I will be sure to film and stick on YouTube at a later date. Next up on the channel, as promised last week, is the blind covering the window and the blind covering the gap between the cab and the back where I'm sat now. Please subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed this video, and give the video a like below, and click on the bell icon as well if you want to get updated every time I upload. I'll see you in the next one.